A Courtland City Council meeting just ended 5 hours after that hearing began to discuss this parcel of land in Idaho. A vote has been deferred twice already, each time developers facing vocal opposition. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. Again, that hearing just wrapped up in its 5th hour after months of back and forth between developers, council members, and the community. So here is a look at that hearing earlier tonight. After hours of public commentary, the council voted to approve the annexation plan. That plan, known as KREM, calls for more than 2,000 homes, businesses, shops, and restaurants, among other things. It's estimated to create 900 new jobs and generate $4.5 million in property and sales tax revenue. But to some living near that proposed site, KREM is a headache, burden, and traffic nightmare waiting to happen. Since council met last month, developers have been editing the project to meet community concerns. Those changes included limiting the number of homes built per acre. Again, that vote was just approved. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is there as we speak. He'll break down that outcome coming up on KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. In the meantime, new tonight, Spokane police looking for information about a man found dead on a remote hill near High Bridge Park. 57-year-old Nicholas Wright's death is now being investigated by the major crimes team. They say the scene indicates his death was possibly under criminal circumstances. The medical examiner has ruled it a homicide. SPD now asking anyone with any information about Wright or who saw anything suspicious near the scene to email the detective on the case. That email address is right there at the bottom of your screen. Also new tonight, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office investigating a fire just outside of Deer Park. Deputies in Spokane Fire District 4 responded to a call just after 7 tonight. When they got there, they say they found one person dead inside the home. That fire has been contained at this hour. It's unknown how it started or if anyone else was inside at the time. This is a developing story. We will continue to bring you updates just as soon as we learn them. Well, the city of Spokane is asking a judge to declare the I-90 homeless camp a chronic and drug nuisance property. They're also asking for an abatement to clean up the campsite. The city argues that camp is a financial burden and poses a significant strain due to alleged crimes and conditions at the camp. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk has more from the mayor and from camp organizers.
Well, Mayor Woodward says the city has been incredibly patient, but after months of discussions with WSDOT, they have still not been provided an end date. And with last week's explosion at the camp, which injured 2 people, Woodward says it's time to take the next step. This February, a federal judge said the city and county could not clear the camp unless a Spokane judge declared the property a chronic nuisance and issued a warrant of abatement, which is exactly what the city is now asking for.
It's not good for the school that's a block away. It's not good for the neighborhood. It's not good for the businesses. It's not good for the people in that encampment. It's not safe, and we need to have it closed.
The complaint says the state has failed to stop the drug and criminal activity that is, quote, robbing the neighborhood of their peace and quiet enjoyment.
Well, I don't see the benefit in any way to removing them at this moment. They're on the path to getting other options. They are all participating, and inside this fence they are structured monitors. There's rules and services offered. When they go into the community, that's a lot harder to provide.
In a statement, the Washington Department of Transportation said it's continuing to reduce and ultimately close the camp, and that forcing people out now would simply continue the cycle of shuffling homeless people from one location to the next without addressing its root causes. Julie Garcia of Jules Helping Hand says the 60+ people who remain have the most needs.
These folks, we have data, we've collected needs assessments on everybody here, and we can show and prove that these folks don't fit into any of the solutions that we currently have.
Well, we have a navigation center that can address all of those needs with wraparound services for all of those things that you just mentioned. So we have a place for them, and leaving them where they are, it's not working out.
So this Thursday, WSDOT is expected to go before a judge and defend themselves and explain why this abatement order should not be considered. Reporting in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
This is an issue that you can't nickel and dime. Baby steps won't cut it. The legislature cannot just do half measures this year. We need to step up to the plate, and that means billions of dollars.
Meantime, Washington Governor Jay Inslee called out homeless encampments on state land today, saying more needs to be done to address the problem. Inslee walked through an encampment over on the west side earlier today, a site which he said is one of 2,000 existing on state land right now. The solution, according to Inslee, is a matter of redirecting state funds. Inslee's address came just hours after the Spokane City Council have introduced an ordinance that would make drug use in public spaces illegal. This after the city's homeless crisis has been blamed for an increase in drug use and criminal activity that could be voted on next month. All right, let's talk weather. An incredible day of sunshine in Spokane today made it feel like we finally hit spring. Let's check in now with KREM 2's Cody Proctor in for Jeremy Legoo tonight to see what else we can expect in this week's forecast. Cody?
Well, Mark, how about more sunshine for tomorrow? But there's also some changes. But let's talk about the sunshine, the warmth. Even right now, relatively warm for us this evening, currently at 46 degrees at the Spokane airport. That might not feel warm, but remember just about a month ago, and we had some of those low temperatures. Northeast winds about 5 miles per hour right now. And around the region, we're mostly tracking in those 40s right now. Moses Lake currently in the upper 30s, seeing some clear skies tonight. In the last few hours, we saw those clear conditions. And the next 12 hours, those clear conditions are also expected to stay with us. Tomorrow around 10, we start to move back up into those low 40s. Look to warm up even more. We're expecting a high tomorrow about 56 degrees with mostly sunny skies and mild conditions. But it's spring. It's a transitional season, and that means we kind of get a mixed bag of just about everything, because towards the end of the week, we start getting some chances for more active weather and cooler temperatures. I'll tell you what's behind it coming up later.
Sounds good, Cody. Thank you very much. Well, spring weather can only mean one thing. We are one day closer to the opening of Spokane's golf courses. 3 county courses announced opening dates today. Both the Liberty Lake course and the Meadowwood course will open this Thursday on March 23rd. The Latah Creek course is set to open on Saturday, April 1st, so get those clubs out and ready to go. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. A development in the Lori Vallow case means the death penalty is now off the table. That decision came down this morning in an East Idaho courtroom. That motion was made by the defense, and the judge heard arguments from both sides last week. Vallow is charged with murdering her own 2 children and her husband's late wife, Tammy Daybell. Vallow's trial is set to begin on April 3rd in Ada County. Her husband, Chad Daybell, will go to trial separately on similar charges. Deliberations underway tonight in the vehicular homicide case against Jonathan Reiser. He is accused of killing a cyclist after hitting her with a tow truck in June of 2020. Well, this morning, the defense called its last witness, including Reiser himself. He admitted that he smoked marijuana the night before and took a pill hours before the collision.
Just a capsule, just to pick me up. You know, anticipating Fridays for me were really busy, so I just for a little energy pill thing.
Both sides delivered closing arguments late this afternoon. Reiser is accused of killing Carrie Wiltzis, a mother and avid cyclist. Well, deputies are asking for help finding a suspect after an armed robbery at a Spokane Valley bank yesterday. According to the Spokane Valley Police Department, a panic alarm was triggered at Horizon Credit Union on Mullen Road. The teller reported a man handed her a note saying that she'd be shot if she didn't hand over the money. Employees say a gun was never actually seen and that man ran off. Deputies describe him as a white man about 5 feet 5 inches tall. He was wearing a gray sweatpants and a black sweatshirt with an orange design on the front. He was also wearing a black ski mask. Anyone with any information is urged to call Crime Check. That number right there at the bottom of your screen. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, several leaders at North Idaho College are pushing back against a judge's order to reinstate President Nick Swain. Lawyers for NIC filed a motion this week asking the judge to undo the preliminary injunction, which forced the college to allow Swain back to work. The judge will hear that motion on March 31st. This is also the day that NIC must declare why it should not lose its accreditation. And we are learning more tonight about the college's attorney. According to the Coeur d'Alene Press, Art McComber billed more than $26,000 in legal fees representing the college. That was just in February. His hourly fee for NIC, $325. Since his hiring in December, he has billed the college more than $75,000. Meantime, last month, the college's ratings dropped, meaning they cannot afford to fund any new development, including building new student housing.